Part 2. How to service a watch at home. Vintage Longines from the 1940s. Firstly, after cleaning and drying, we now add the oil to the oil spots required. Once the oil is set, we now add the mainspring drum. Add the ratchet and third wheel in place. Take the barrel bridge and oil the ratchet click spring and gear placement. Now we will add the set lever screw in place and will be held in place by the barrel bridge. We will now build up the gear train. Once this is done, we will place the barrel bridge over the drum and third wheel. Place the center, third, fourth and escape wheels in place very carefully and align them as best possible. Place the barrel bridge carefully in place and screw down. The setting screw can get in the way and aligning it can take time. Take the wheel bridge cover and align it as close as possible before placing it in place. Over time this becomes easier, but please take your time as the tips of gears can get damaged. Add oil to the barrel arbor and the gear train jewels. Remember, less is more. Take the pallet fork and place very carefully. The tips can break very easily. Place in the jewel and then use the pallet fork bridge to align the final position. Use a magnifying glass to place them. Add the screws and don't tighten too tight yet. Make sure the pallet fork is in place correctly and then tighten. Turn the movement over so that we can rebuild the top part of the movement. Firstly, we will oil the areas that require oil. Then we place the clutch and winding gear in place with the winding shaft to keep everything in place. We need to place the setting lever and spring in place. Newer movements have a cover plate that has the spring attached. Screw setting lever plate in place to hold the stem in place and to allow for time setting. Add the cannon pinion and make sure you feel a click, so it very carefully. Apply oil in the areas that will be covered during the reassembly. Add the minute wheel and minute setting gear in place, set the cover plate in place and screw down. Add the setting spring for the yoke and place carefully as they can snap easily. Once everything is reassembled, you should be able to set the time and wind up the mainspring. Wind up the mainspring to about 10 rotations. Oil the bottom end balance jewel, as this is very important to do and will make sure the amplitude and timing is correct when setting them later. Now we add the balance spring and bridge. Place the balance very carefully as the tips are extremely fragile. We will now add the hour wheel and anti-friction leaf before we add the dial and hands. When placing the dial, please make sure you are wearing finger cods so that you do not add oil marks. I use a powder that removes oil as the finger cods create a lot of sweat. Place the 2 screws into place and tighten. Grab the seconds hand and place very carefully. Do not press into place with a lot of force. A gentle push is more than enough. The same applies to the hour and minute hands. Very important to have a look and make sure the hour hand does not interfere with the seconds hand. The case was cleaned in a professional cleaning machine, and now we will hand polish the silver case, as using a machine will change the shape and will lose originality of the case. You can see how black the case has become. This is due to oxidation over many years. A good polish will take it off and bring the case back to a shiny silver as it should be. After this, we assemble the case and movement and now can look at the finished watch. We had timed the watch to +3 and -2 seconds a day. A great result for a beautiful vintage watch.